Oh, let's see if this stuff could work for me.
When you see nothing but women in the section,
I was internet the last time I
every
tried
time,
this.
the same issues, every time. Especially when she saw they were already drunk, a nightmare. And now she fully understands, whether she knows it or not, what men are going through. This is exactly what men are dealing with. Look at what happened with the ladies. Where were they at? Japan? What were they doing? Showing how much of a knucker they can be. Like, why are you doing that overseas? But this is the energy they bring. And the young girl, she looked Japanese and black. She got blamed for it. This is what happens. Everyone gets blamed for the drama of the modern woman. But check out what's happening. You guys already know what's happening in this part of the world. Let's take a look.
Especially DMV men. Me and my wife have been outside this summer. Karaoke's, happy hours, brunches, you name it, we've been there. And me and her come to the same conclusion. That it's nothing but women outside. All that. I mean, I get it. Drink prices are high. Women have unrealistic expectations.
I'm going to tell you why the club scene is over. The club scene is over because men want to be women. And when I say men want to be women, they want to cut the line.
What they want from a man. I mean, some of their egos are on Beyonce, and it should be on Rashida.
Real talk alert.
I get it. And I understand that maybe Unc and them really haven't taught you how to speak to women. I get that. But it should not be this bad.
Didn't you get the memo?
Where it's like damn near 20-1. And when maybe it's just me being old school, I wanted to be where the women were, especially the beautiful ones. And they have been there, and y'all have not. Ladies, I don't know what to tell you. I don't. It's not looking good out there. And may the Lord be with you in your journey.
This man didn't get the memo, but it's cool. He's married. He doesn't know what's happening. Men have spoken by not speaking. Men have spoken by not speaking because it's written all over our face. We don't have to say a word. That's how it is. Men have nothing to say. We've said everything we can. It's getting played out now. Seriously. Like, why are men going to keep trying to explain themselves?
Those days are over.
To a species that don't want to understand anything. And it's not just black women. It's all of you ladies. The ones that can be dealt with, they're speaking up, but men don't want to play ball no more. Understand that.
First of all, this isn't true. Second of all, I need men who are watching this video right now to really reflect on the fact that there are men in my comments celebrating and laughing because they think that the women's only club closed down. What they're saying to us is they do not want us to feel safe. It's like the choosing a woman to be your Uber driver. They want to have access to us all the time. And when we create a space where they don't have access to us, it destroys their world. Because it's almost like their value comes from oppressing us. And so when that space falls through, even though this space didn't fall through, when that space falls through and doesn't work, they celebrate. And they tell us that they're happy that we don't have a space to feel safe. Let that just sit for a minute. They don't want us to feel safe and protected.
No.
They don't want it.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you.
We don't care.
It's gotten to a point now where men can care less. Men could.
Front.
Men can care less because it's going too far. All you ladies do is this. We don't want men around. So we're leaving you to your own recognizance. You're free.
Okay.
You're released. Like when you get, like back in the day, I remember back in the day, you get locked up, send you bookings, they release you on your own recognizance. Same thing we're doing. You're free.
I love to be the one to say it. Club culture dying is a huge reflection on how prominent the DL community actually is. Let's think about this for a second. That video that girl made, the viral video about how club culture is dying because guys want to be the girls now. Because men are so concerned being the center of attention. Basically, everything used to be about the woman. And why are men okay with this shift in priority? And why has the priorities shifted in general? I think it could be for a couple things. One, I do think some men actually just like to flex on other men, and it's kind of like a big dick swinging contest. But that also used to include who would have the most women in their section and who would have the most beautiful women. That's not even something a lot of men are even checking for anymore, and it's because they don't like us. They really don't care about the women. They never did. And the fact that a lot of men are not caring about the fact that their sections are just filled with men should be very telling as to how they actually feel. This is a lot of men's dream come true, and that's why it's not changing.
People don't tell women the truth these days. Men get told the truth all the time. Women have no problem telling a man, I don't want an average man. It happens every day on my show. TLC said they don't want no scrubs, and we have no problem telling average men, you ain't crap. But if I just happen to have the nerve to agree with the woman that says she's average, then I'm Satan.
I do think there are two scenarios. One, the ego trumps your desire for women so much to the point where you're willing to be sharing a bottle with 20 other dudes to feel important and to feel like you're in a space of importance, opposed to actually prioritizing being around women. And they want to feel important so bad to the point where they're all fighting to get one Instagram story of one bottle that they didn't fucking pay for, or they're just DL, or they dislike men.
If you use shame as a tactic to get your way, you may be low value.
And that's exactly where they want to be, and they're happy in their home.
You're often insulting to get your way, or to shut people up or shut people down. You may be low value.
I've already seen 3 videos of men's point of view on why they feel like club culture is dying, and their go-to is women are broke. Women don't have any money. Men are the only ones in the club buying bottles. If it wasn't for the men, club culture would be dead completely. Babe, I feel like club culture is dying already, and it's because of the men, okay? And this is not going to turn into a I hate all men, no. However, y'all are going to strictly put it on women being broke. That's y'all's go-to. Like genuinely asking, that's going to be y'all's go-to. That's what you're shooting for. That the reason why the club culture is so trash is because women are broke. Babe, I can guarantee you it's not that. Okay, first of all, are we going to discuss the entry fees that they're charging now? Are we going to discuss the lines? Are we going to discuss the music? Are we going to discuss the freaking outline of the club itself? Are we going to discuss how men are literally buying out section for their homeboys? I even saw somebody in another video saying, why would I spend money on a girl when I can spend money on my boys? Babe, what? What? Well, she's not going to put out, so I might as well just spend money on my homeboys. Or is he putting out? Is that what you're telling me? Because what? The discussion is getting like, I don't even know. I don't even know. Again, there were people in my last videos, and I didn't even say anything disrespectful, and the men were in the comments being sassy as hell.
Prime Big Deal Days is here. With deals on home and more, greatness is a deal away.
Just bust the move.
Shop deals up to 40% off this Prime Big Deal Days.
$7 for a coffee? Nah. How about Sonic Salted Caramel Toffee Iced Coffee with cold foam for only $2.99? It's the fancy without the pricey. Better yet, try it for free with any purchase in the Sonic app.
You know, the wild thing, the guy said, well, she's not going to put out. And then you said, what are the men going to put out? No. But that's his homeboy, right? You know what he can say to his homeboy?
Bros before hoes.
Put something down on the bottle. And you said men are saying that you're broke, right? So how about you ladies put something down on the bottle? Oh, that's a low blow. But yeah, you want to receive, you want to look pretty and receive drinks for free. And what did the man say? I'm not getting nothing anyway.
Those days are over.
Men have woken up. And the only thing that you have a value is what? Your box. That's why a lot of men are treating y'all this way. Don't shoot the messenger when he's telling the truth.
Why are there so many single people out there that are supposedly looking for other single people, like-minded single people, and no one is finding each other? Like, I'm having a hard time understanding why I have so many baddie bachelorette friends, and my husband has single guy friends that are eligible bachelors, and somehow no one is finding each other. Like, I'm just not understanding why. I'm just having a really hard time understanding, and it's not sitting well with my spirit, that there are like so many eligible people that are single walking around just being single. And
everybody put your dicks up.
There's no one out there. Like, everyone keeps saying on both sides, there's no one out there. No one is taking dating seriously, blah, blah, blah. But like, I for a fact know that there are people out there taking it seriously. So like, what is it? Also, everyone that meets these criteria right here, send them my way. I have someone for them.
Now, your friends, you didn't question them.
Are you here with somebody?
You haven't asked.
No, you wasn't somebody shit.
Because I'm sure you know. And the fact that you're.
No, I see when you went live. I said, I'm about to get this nigga.
Men don't like that. Like, you have friends. Your husband has friends. He's talking to his friends. I guess it's miscommunication between you and your husband. Because you know the issues.
Oh, shit.
They're not willing to do what you may be willing to do unless you got a stone cold sucker. I bullshit my girl. She's my world. And he may not be noticing that he has a long, hard road ahead of him.
You hear yourself?
Because if it is, I feel sorry for you, brother.
And 100% financial provider. I work a full-time job.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? 2, 2, 3.
Hold on. Whoa. No, chat. No.
I work
chat.
A month. I have absolutely no days off. So the days that I do go to work, I clock in at the battery plant, 12-hour shift, then I come the hell home.
Yeah, I was watching
my days off, like today,
video right now. I just started it up.
Early in the morning.
I just started it up like 13 minutes ago.
I went and did Amazon
I did one and it cut off. The internet cut off.
I took a shower.
Oh, just now?
Put on some clothes. Took my family out.
Yeah, that's why my phone was acting all weird and crazy. I think the whole network. The whole network reset.
Came home again, changed clothes.
Cause my phone, I was trying to call my girl. My phone just all the bars
came home again. I took a little nap. Then I put the shit back on, and I'm doing Amazon Flex again. In the meantime, I had my neighbor. Where they at? Over there with that red truck right there. I had them come over here and cut my lawn. So I ain't got to do that. That saved me a little bit of time. And I'm carrying my ass back to work. That's the truth about being 100% provider. You know what I'm talking about? There's always go time. Either you dig on doing for your family, you at your real job, or you at some other type of side hustle. In between, you might get to take a nap. And I ain't complaining. This is what I chose to do. You know what I'm saying? I chose a wife who had a job at the moment, and I was like, you know what? I don't want you to have to work. My wife has Graves' disease. Let that be clear. She has Graves' disease, so she got to go through a whole lot of shit. She get dizzy spells and all that. I don't want her to have to work. So I was like, look, I will pay you what you was getting at your job. I pay you that every Friday if you just stay home, take care of the house. And she take real good care of the house. I keep up my part. I clock in. I go get that bread, and I make sure that we are always straight. I schedule vacations and all that shit. We going on another cruise at the end of this month. Truth about being 100%.
Testing. Tell me about the day the world went blue.
It was terrifying.
I wasn't scared at all. Zombie apocalypse!
It all happened on the day of ContainerCon. And we had a plan. Find Trev Smith.
Looks like a turd muffin.
You can't say that.
He does.
He is the buyer for all of Daily Organic Grocery, aka our
Off Truck Stop Load Board Pro for 6 months. The best tool for serious carriers. Don't miss out. Click the link in the description to get 20% off Load Board Pro for 6 months. Need capital to grow your business or cover unexpected expenses? Rock Financial has your back. Whether you're looking for a flexible line of credit, a fast cash advance, or tailored working capital solutions, Rock Financial makes it simple to get funded, often in as little as 24 hours. No hidden fees, an easy application, and real support from people who know the business. Ready to take your hustle to the next level? Tap the link in the description to get started with Rock Financial today. Wish insurance was this easy? With LogRock, it's like magic. Real coverage appears when you need it. No tricks. Get covered now. Click the link in the description.
Get covered now.
Warning. The following content contains strong language and may not be suitable for children. This content is primarily for adults as this is a trucking channel and truckers have filthy mouths. Please don't tweak if I say viewer discretion is advised.
Quiet on the set. The microphone works so good. Can't hear anything I'm saying, thinking and doing.
What's up? Come on in, guys. Make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on all post notifications. How's everybody doing this Monday evening? Come on in, guys. Guys, if you need commercial insurance, semi-truck business, box truck business, cargo van business, there's a link in the description for LogRock for all your commercial needs. Coming into business, you need commercial insurance. If you're up for renewal and you want to shop around, click the link in the description for the channel sponsored LogRock. How's everybody doing this afternoon? Special edition of the Wise Men podcast. I see a lot of people in the building already, so I'm not going to do a roll call like we always do. I'm just going to get straight into it. So this is a special edition of the Wise Men. So some people probably like, well, where's Kurt? I'm just going to get straight to it. I ain't going to sugarcoat it. I ain't going to sit up here and act like he's sitting up here, but he ain't here. He pulled out. Pause. Pulled out at the last minute. I got a message, and he said, "Yo, I don't want to come on. I don't want to do it no more." So ain't nothing I can say. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all grown. I can't make no motherfucker do something that they don't want to do, that they agreed to do, and then decided that they want to pull out. So I'm here, and we just gonna roll with it. But we got a special guest in the building tonight. He's the largest box truck content creator, in my opinion, in the space, across all spaces. We got Sam from the Box Truck Bros. What's going on, Brody?
What's up with you, man?
Chilling, man. So, man, we did this critique. We did this reaction. Now, we weren't the only ones who did a reaction.
Yeah,
video. Hell no.
I ain't see. You know, it's funny. This is my first time seeing it. Somebody just sent it to me probably like last week, and I said, somebody did a reaction video, because I'm not really active on YouTube. You know, like I try to be. I was like when I first started, but I'm way more active on like Instagram and stuff like that. So I have not seen no reaction video, but when I seen it, I'm just, of course I'm hearing y'all feedback and y'all opinions. I'm like, oh, this what people, really kind of think or gotta say. So I'm like, all right, I gotta say something.
Well, I know, when you get millions and millions of subs across different platforms, I wouldn't expect for you to, see every reaction. But when you get that big, people gonna react to your content. But no, we actually reacted to it a little bit later. We like people was jumping on top of it right when you came out with that video. I think we reacted to it maybe like maybe a week and a half later. It wasn't right away, but we definitely weren't the only people that reacted to it. But out of all the reactions, you seen mine, so
yeah.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? Cool. Who sent it to you?
One of my boys.
Okay.
One of my boys. He actually, kind of followed you. I guess for like the final mile kind of stuff. I think he followed like a couple content creators, and then the other day, you're like, Mark and them had did a reaction video to the DOT stop, and I said nah. And I went to your page, I tried to find it. You got a bunch of videos, and I'm forgetting that it's actually 4 or 5 months old. And I'm like, so he sent me the link, and I watched it. I'm like, okay, this what it is.
Let's get into it, man. Let's get into
For
it.
sure.
I'm here. Let me know what you want to talk about.
So I kind of want to I watched it. I kind of stopped. Probably like halfway into it. Just because I just kind of felt like I felt defenseless. I kind of felt like I had it was two perspectives. I think your perspective, some things you commented on. I think you gave a lot of credit on certain things. From a business professional standpoint, I think your boy Kurt, I think he had such an emotional response to a lot of things that discredited a lot of stuff, and I really wasn't, kind of messing with that. But I think we should roll it from show some of the clip.
I'm thinking about getting into this box truck stuff
at the beginning.
So watching this little content like this gives me like a little bit of insight of the industry.
I know you said you didn't have no time stamps, but where would you?
I would say.
Go ahead.
I would say probably from where y'all start critiquing it on the papers, the organization, the comb and the beard, stuff like that.
Now the comb and the beard was a joke. I gotta get some satire in here to keep the engagement up. Now, big dog. I know you ain't finna.
Nah. It's not true. But also on that video, I think I got a lot of responses from like people like, oh, he's combing his beard, like, or he did this. Wow.
In your comment section.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Okay, a lot of people like, this dude is not professional. He put out a comb. I'm like, bro, it ain't that deep. Like, I'm not bending over or like, I'm not about to switch up and, become a yes man because I'm getting pulled over by police. Like I ain't about to switch up. Like I'm here for a DOT stop. As long as everything is straight, like me combing my beard. Plus I'm on camera. I got to make sure it look cool.
Was you combing the beard because you knew you? Was you combing the beard because you knew you was shooting the content, so you was trying to do some fly shit
make it look
for
full.
the camera?
It's patchy, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't got a lot, so I gotta make sure it look full.
All right, bet. I get you. All right, I'm gonna play it right here.
They're not laughing and playing with you. They're billing on the job for a good amount of time where they got reputation. So a lot of the stuff that was shown in that video was stuff that is not a surprise to me. Given, I think the officer was very professional, but most of it was him holding back because if you look at his demeanor, even when he asked certain questions, he know you were giving he know the bullshit. And that's why I try to tell people all the time, like, y'all come out here and say stuff to these officers, like, you think it's going to be the first you're saying it to them. These guys pull over truck drivers. That got game on top of game on top of game, so there always going to be some shit. So, yeah, it wasn't.
Whenever you want me to stop it, just let me know.
No, yeah, you good.
Surprised in terms of the way the violation comes in. But also, it wasn't a surprise that it was another content creator and who it was coming from. None of it was a surprise to me. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just, you know, I mean, I will talk about it, but it wasn't a surprise to me, bro.
All right, let's
All right, so
I guess let's
yeah,
I guess
let's pause right there.
Mhm.
So I think I said, of course I can't talk to him, directly, but I think that for comments like that, when he says like it's not a surprise that it's a content creator, right? And when you say I'm not surprised it's a content creator, I think it discredits everything else aside from that because I'm not just a content creator. I'm not just someone who out there creates content and sell courses. Like that's a part of it, right? But I've also built a 7-figure business. I've also scaled up to like
no. I mean, sometimes if it's a viral video, we'll.
Thank you so much. I love you.
You wake up in the morning, it's a brand new day. Blue skies above, it's a perfect day. Sunshine is shining just across the way.
Finding new adventures.
I'm
and
sorry,
extra
Mama.
confidence. And extra
I never
miles.
meant to hurt you.
And room for everyone.
Never meant to make
And stay.
But what was the United States of America? What's the fascination with free labor and slavery? Like, why?
It makes money. You can make money if you are a racist. It's a money-making
so many
proposition.
ways.
Well, you make money in big pharma makes a whole bunch of money. They can charge you an immense amount for any pharmaceutical product that you can get far cheaper in Mexico or Canada. You can sell cheap, awfully horribly built homes to people in Black communities and force them to live in ridiculous situation and charge them a ridiculous price for that and pay them too little for them to make their payments. And if they make their payments, they may be able to afford food and clothing and housing for their families, but there's no guarantee. So they go into debt. So then eventually you can pick the house up and sell it to a person who is a middle class person for whom you will help, and you will help them to build a better home. But you can make money off people until they get smart enough to say no, or until they make enough money to put a stop to it. But we'll see to it that they don't get to that point if we possibly can. We like the idea that we can pay them less because, after all, we brought them over here from Africa. They should be glad. They should be glad they're living here instead of in Africa. No, that isn't what I should be glad about. Absolutely not. I remember, and I read a lot, and I read that Abraham Lincoln at one time said, those people are on their own back in Africa. Well, I also found out in the last few years that Abraham Lincoln was a Melungeon. He was part Black, part white, and part Cherokee Indian. Now you have a picture of Abraham Lincoln. You see the length of his arms. You see the length of his legs. You see his face. You see the color and texture of his hair. Then you tell me that he is British or Scottish or Irish or German. Doesn't work. It doesn't work. He was born in Kentucky, an area in Kentucky, where there were a lot of people who were a mixture of those three color groups, or those three nationalities, whatever you want to call them. They weren't different races. They just were different groups of people. And he was a Melungeon, as I understand it. Now, I read that and I believe it, and I looked back at him and I looked at what he said and what he had done. And I think, oh my God, why didn't somebody tell me this a long time ago? So now when people say, I say to groups, who was our first black president? And they all say Barack Obama. And I say, actually, no. Abraham Lincoln was our first black president. And it ruins the meeting. They absolutely refuse to give credence to such a thing. Black folks delighted. He's one of ours. He was. And when he was a child in Kentucky, they called him the N-word, because that was a commonly used word at that time. Now, there's somebody out there right now saying, that's not true, it's not true. Well, if they dig him up, you'd find out that it is true. But we don't want to know the truth about that. And we don't want to know that Dwight Eisenhower had a black forefather. And we don't want to know that every one of us had a black ancestor. Every human on the face of the earth came from the same modern human beings who were black.
Now, in your opinion, let me ask you this. Is there a more responsible way to deal with racism or to carry out civil disobedience?
Well, yeah, there is. It's perfectly simple, because I think simply tell the truth. Simply tell the truth. Tell the truth about the fact that those first modern human beings were able to populate every landmass on the face of the earth without any modern technology. And then tell me that black people aren't as smart as white people. Try that on. It's time for people to know the truth. If we'd simply tell the damn truth, that would solve our problems. But if I tell the truth, when I told the truth in my classroom, the reason I didn't lose my job is, number one, I was white, I was female, and I could teach that chair to read if it had a mouth. They didn't want to lose me, even though I was slightly crazy, because I had talked about the fact that white people aren't white and they aren't any better than anybody else. And they were willing to put up with that as long as I taught every child to read.
Dang.
Now, you spoke about telling the truth, and for decades now, you have been somewhat of the OG of disruptors within this oppressive system of ours. What gave you the courage? What motivated you or led you into like having the gall to actually step up and do, as you said earlier, the right thing?
Martin Luther King Jr. was dead, assassinated because he and Malcolm X were getting together. And if they had gotten together, those two men and their followers would have changed the situation in this country. So they had to die, and they were both assassinated. And I knew that what we did was absolutely, totally, and entirely wrong. It was unhealthy, it was inhuman, and it was not what the things possible, the wonderful things we said about this country, what we believed in. It was in opposition to every one of those things. And I couldn't go into my class in the morning after he was killed and just say, well, he's dead. My kids said, hey, they shot that king last night. Why'd they shoot that king, Mr. Elliott? I said, we're going to talk about that. So we did the things you have to do first thing in the morning. We said the Pledge of Allegiance, the flag with the word under God in it, for God's sake. When I was a kid, under God wasn't in the pledge because we believed in the separation of church and state. But during Dwight Eisenhower's reign, the Knights of Columbus lobbied him to get the words under God inserted into the pledge, thereby making it into a little prayer that every child has to stand up in the morning and say the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag with the words under God, and they do not belong there, and they need to come out. Then we sang God Bless America, which is a prayer, but it's got a lot of rhythm, and kids are happy to sing God.
Nigel loves the saxophone, and he loves helping others find their sound too. So he built a course on Kajabi.
And if you don't believe it's fun, then listen to Kate Smith singing it. It is nothing but fun. We did that, and then we started to talk about the killing of Martin Luther King Jr. And I decided the night before that if my kids didn't understand what we were talking about when we talked about this death, that not only was I going to teach them the Sioux Indian prayer that says, "Oh, great spirit, keep me from ever judging a man and walk a mile in his moccasins." I was not only going to teach them that prayer, I was going to arrange to have it answered for them, because I had decided that I was going to do what Hitler did. I was going to separate my group on the basis of the color of their eyes. One of the ways you got thrown into the gas chamber during what's come to be called the Holocaust was having brown eyes. If you had brown eyes but a good German name, they threw you into the gas chamber because they thought you might be a Jewish person who was trying to pass. And so I didn't invent this exercise. I copied it from Adolf Hitler. The next morning, then after these kids said, okay, I said, what do you kids have any idea how it would feel to be black in this country? No. I said, would you like to know? It was like, yeah, we've already gotten on the spelling and handwriting. Keep this fool talking all day and we won't have to learn anything all day long. So you did it in social studies class because the teacher was a coach. And all you had to do was have last night's football game, and you could spend the whole period talking about football. So that day they thought we were just going to spend the whole day talking about race. I said, okay, let's try this. We're going to judge people by the color of their eyes. And since I'm blue-eyed, and most of the kids in this room are blue-eyed, brown-eyed kids are going to be on the top the first day. And they said, what do you mean? I said, I mean that blue-eyed people aren't as smart as brown-eyed people. They're as clean as brown-eyed people. They're not as civilized as brown-eyed people. And then little brown-eyed Debbie sitting in the front row looked up at me. She said, you're the teacher here if you got them blue eyes. And I thought, so this is what it is. This is how it feels. That kid now has power over me because of the color of her eyes. She has more melanin in her eyes than I have in mine, so that makes her smarter and brighter and a better person. Holy sweet Jesus, what have we done? And at that point, one of the boys in the back stood up and said, well, if she didn't have them blue eyes, she'd be the principal, the superintendent. They're both brown-eyed. And I thought, oh, good Lord, look at how this kid knows how to be a racist. I never taught him how to be a racist, but in this country, we learn how to be a racist pre-birth and after death. So the day was absolutely terrible. I put brown-eyed people in the front of the room, made blue-eyed people go to the back because, blue-eyed people spread germs. They're probably the ones who are spreading this virus. It probably came from blue-eyed people. Sounds ridiculous, doesn't it?
It does.
We've done that kind of thing.
That's kind of the type of thing you gotta hear. You gotta hear yourself say it in order for you to really grab a hold of the preposterous nature of it. And I think that's the beauty of your exercise.
Why is it that the value of my brand can be recognized by formal financial institutions, even up to the government? It can be recognized when they need me to do something for them.
Right.
Now, okay, he's strong in this area. Let's go get him so he could provide this service for us.
Right.
And we could reap the benefit of the strength of his brand. But when I sit down across from you and I need you to do something for me, now the value of my brand is being questioned. Well, I don't know if it's that big. Oh, man, I don't know if he can he do it again? Well, what else does he have going on? Well, what kind of news? What kind of headlines? They create excuses when I need them to do something for me, but they have nothing but praise when they need me to do something for them. Why is that?
This is called the magic of negotiation. The seller's job is to overvalue their asset.
Okay.
The buyer's job is to undervalue that asset. The negotiation is the magic is to find a win-win somewhere in the middle.
Right.
But it is your job to believe that you're worth more than you actually are and to advocate for that. It is the person who is trying to buy or leverage or use your business to get it for the lowest possible price they possibly can so they can make a profit. By the way, none of this is personal.
Right.
We got to stop taking stuff personal.
Okay.
This is business. Business is not personal.
I go for that. Well, you do know that art comes now. Listen,
this is hard for an artist to hear because everything for an artist is personal.
I get it. That's
by the way, it's a music business.
It is the music business.
Music.
It is the music business. But okay, before it was the music business, it was music. Okay, and somebody who probably could not cut it as an artist or a maker of music said, well, let's just figure out how to create a business from this.
I love this.
And that's when all the shit came in the game. You dig what I'm saying?
So Las Vegas started from the mafia. Parts of the music business started from the mafia. It was a business, and they would literally take R&B artists and hang them out windows to quote negotiate back in the day.
Sure, they would.
So Quincy Jones, our friend and mentor, who's worth $340 million in a bad day.
That's enough.
After he lost $500 million on the Time Warner AOL deal, so he's worth much more than that. But he says this: if you think you're in the music business and you don't own music rights, publishing rights, licensing rights, you're actually not in the music business. You're a temporary performer.
Work for hire.
You're a temporary performer. You're completely replaceable because
like
this
a plumber.
Worse, the plumber is actually in control of a unique talent that's necessary for life. A temporary entertainer can go out of vogue tomorrow. Right? You've been in this game so long, you're now a veteran and an elder statesman, and you're relevant at the same time. That's brilliant, but most people cannot do that. So Quincy Jones realized that it was about ownership. We forget, I hate to say it this way, a church is probably the most noble form of a business.
Noble?
But it is a business.
Why do you say it's noble?
Well, I believe the churches are. Okay, I believe the churches have a noble calling. I think the church of Reverend. I think the church. I'm gonna trip you up here. The church where Andrew Young pastors is noble.
Yeah.
The church where Dr. King pastored was noble. That's just where you find some common ground. We understand there's a lot of folks pimping the pulpit.
They are exceptions to the rule, though.
But my point was, without that weekly passing of the plate to pay lights, mortgage, salaries of the secretary of the church, they can't survive either. Whatever it is you want to talk about in the course of your day is a capitalist model. Even if you want to distribute money like a socialist, you got to first collect it like a capitalist. What I'm saying is we don't have our business management hat on. That black artists, but black artists in particular, I need for them to see themselves not just making money, but building wealth. And you build wealth in your sleep. You make money during the day, but you build wealth in your sleep. This building is making money for you when you're sleeping. This show, everything you're doing today, TV shows. I can't go home and turn on a TV set without looking at you, right? That's making money when you're asleep, right? And so you've got to find ways, whether it's stocks, bonds, investments, franchises, licensing rights, something to build wealth and not just get paid. And an emotion around your music confuses you with the business behind that emotion. There's somebody taking advantage of your talent.
That's right.
And that needs to be you, is my point.
That's real.
It's not either or, it's both. So all the folks who become billionaires in your space didn't make it on singing, dancing, rocking the mic, running a basketball, football. They did it with the business side of that piece once they had a brand. Jay-Z, all these folks we know about.
Added revenue stream.
Amen.
Yeah.
So all I'm just saying is we never got the memo on money, man. I mean,
we ain't really never had none for real.
Well, and by the way,
and we just now starting to get some. Like with hip hop is the first little means of legitimacy, at least in the upper 8 figures.
Yeah.
That black people had an opportunity to really have the kind of wealth that we needed to actually wrap our mind around managing.
Right.
And we all know the first time you get, something and it's new to you, you don't necessarily treat it the same with the same kind of respect and the same importance as you do once you've had it a while, you understand it and you've gotten used to it. And I think that's what hip hop is now. You know what I mean? Which is why you're seeing billionaires and Jay and then Dr. Dre and now Kanye.
But money has velocity, Tip.
Okay.
So if you don't have financial literacy in the front end or you don't learn the lessons in the middle, velocity means that money's not slowing down when it hits your wallet. So if you don't have financial literacy, let's start with the positive. You do have financial literacy. They become the tip model. Stocks, bonds, investments, business, reinvesting in your education. Every time I talk to you, you're just listening.
Yeah.
How'd you get so smart, Tip? You just nosy as hell. Okay. So
a lot of people would agree with you on that.
And then you have, and I'm gonna say something that's controversial, but it's a compliment. You're almost like black Jewish in the sense of the way you look at the business side of your balance sheet. You ain't giving away nothing. You're finding value in that, and making sure that value is leveraged up, even though you're not leveraging your real estate. You're leveraging your mind. So. But here's the negative velocity. you didn't get financial literacy, but you got some money overnight.
Right.
Jewelry, cars, parties, people, your boys, traveling, private jets for your friends, and that person's going.
No private jets for my
that's what I'm
friends. I
talking
ain't
about.
never did
Those
that.
people
I ain't never
going
did
broke. All right,
They can come with me if I'm getting on one, but I ain't never just ordered up no private jet. Say, y'all have a good time, man. See you when you get back.
I won't name names. There's a boxer in Las Vegas that ordered a private jet for his boys, another private jet for his girls.
Well, God bless.
My billionaire friends don't do that.
Man, because they got good sense.
Amen.
And you are a very frugal.
QuickMD connects patients with a doctor online for opioid use disorder. Start medication-assisted treatment backed by science. No judgment, no stigma, and no insurance is required. Take control and talk to a doctor today at quick.md.
You've rolled out VR training. Employees love it and the demos look incredible. But when stakeholders ask what's the actual impact, you're left with manual reports and anecdotal feedback. Most VR training programs are operating in a complete data blind spot. Today, I'll show you how Fortune 500 companies are solving this exact problem. First, let's understand the 4 biggest challenges that are holding back VR training programs. Problem 1. Once learners put on a headset, you lose complete visibility. No tracking completion, struggle points, or performance. You're basically flying blind.
Very frugal. You call yourself cheap. I say, but you're a very frugal celebrity.
Yeah.
Like, how was it to come into a bunch of money and then like figure out, okay, well, in order to maintain and sustain wealth, I have to kind of pull back and have to reassume that level of wealth again. How is that? What is that process like?
Man, you gotta learn as you go. You gotta really get somebody to handle your money, because
you have to trust people, Chris.
Yeah, it is. Just sign your own checks.
People steal, man.
Oprah told us that.
People steal.
You know what? That's true. That's true. And that I understand that. But you gotta get I don't care if you search high and low. Make sure you sign your own checks, but get a team to handle your money if you get a lot of money, man. And they can't get it. And, of course, if they invest it, you got to get a piece of paper. That's your stock.
So this streaming
but
shit,
man, right away, because
it really starts you off with just zeros?
You give away $100 million. You give away $1 billion. That's how fast you can be back broke or with nothing. So you got to invest it. You can't leave it in the bank. The bank only insure $100,000.
That's right.
So you got to learn. Get with somebody who's been there, who got money. That's the best idea.
I tell people all the time, man, if I have $10 million in the bank, I'm keeping $500,000 or maybe $500,000 over 5 banks, of course, and I'm putting the rest in property and commodities that I know will accrue, the level of interest that is greater than I will get in putting it in a bank. Because if you leave it in the bank, all they gonna do is invest your money.
That's
for
right.
you.
They making money off the bank. Yeah, they making money off you sometime. Yeah.
I think that's a great tool. See, that's that piece of advice that people need to hear.
Yeah.
Especially young kids. Because young kids, you might be broke right now, but we never plan on making money.
That's right.
When we be in our position, we plan on that. We'll make plans to die. You know what I'm saying? We'll say, man, I might not make it to C21. But what if you do?
Yeah, that's right.
And
that's
what
right.
if all your dreams come true and you ain't planned for that to be in that position?
Yeah.
Then it's gonna escape you.
That's right.
And I know all the ladies want to know, man, why ain't Chris Tucker never got married?
That's a good question, man. That's a good question. But I still got time. I still got time. So
you believe in love?
Oh yeah, man. Yeah. Because at this point, yeah. That's my next step for sure. So I still got time.
Okay. And you got one kid.
I got one son. Yeah.
One son. 21 years. 21. Yeah. You liked him so much that you didn't want to have him.
You know what? Because I'm the youngest of 6 kids, so I thought I'd have a big family. So I don't know how I just got one son, but
Hey, man.
I still got time for more.
You absolutely got time for more, man. I heard you say champion is a mindset.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle.
Yeah. So, like, necessarily winning the fight don't make you a champion.
No, because look at that kid, right? I couldn't even learn that from this kid. What's his name? He just got killed. What's his young brother?
Which one?
The Nipsey Hussle.
Yeah, Nip.
Listen, right?
Long live Nip, be great.
This game is a marathon, baby. And it sounds cool and slick, but this is real.
Yeah.
I'm not the guy today that I was when I was champ.
But you're a champion today.
Oh,
more so than you were when you actually held
back
the
then
belt.
I was just champion by name, by word. I wasn't no champion when I had the belt.
Right.
You know, I wasn't no champion.
Right. I think, you know, in a lot of ways, man, we kind of fit ourselves into success and that kind of, we be seeking validation.
Oh, that was dedication, hard work.
Yeah.
That wasn't no champion.
Right.
No.
That was the result of muscle memory and natural ability. Yeah. But see, champion is actually like formulating your thoughts and directing your efforts and energy toward living a better life and kind of.
Absolutely. Champion got to get beat up too.
Yeah.
You can't be a champion unless you're not beat up and dragged in the dirt and kicked in your balls.
With no struggle, there's no progress.
No way.
You know, I think that's a lot of things that the kids today, like, they expect instant gratification.
There's no such thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist.
Right.
It's an illusion.
Yeah. And they got this thing called clout, you know what I'm saying, where people do it for the gram or do it online, but it isn't a true reflection of their real life. So that is the illusion of success.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Motherfuckers want the success, the look of success without the sacrifice that come with success and without the actual hard work that has to go into success.
It's just your perception of success.
Absolutely.
You know, no other success to me, a guy like me, me, Mike Tyson.
Right.
Me, this is what I'm doing here. This is not success for me, really. This is my dedication, working hard. This is me suffering. This is me losing 70 pounds to represent my company, to look good for my company. This is my ego.
Right.
You know?
I mean, so going from the youngest heavyweight champion in the world and assuming at your high point, like how much bread you think you like, you know what I'm saying, you had commanded at your at the height?
Don't miss out on growth opportunities for your business due to lack of available cash flow. Capitus has helped over 55,000 small businesses get the financing they need to move their business forward. Learn more at capitus.com.
You got here first. You did it. Nah, she's right there.
Good morning, guys.
You wake up, good morning, it's a brand new day. Blue skies above, it's a perfect day.
I don't know. From what perspective you're talking about?
Well, I'm just saying, like, as a youngster, before you evolved into, know, your present perspective, right?
All right, let's write some goals down.
As a man and went through your metamorphosis. Early on, as the young heavyweight champion of the world, how much money had you assumed at that point in your life?
A couple $100 million.
All right. So a couple $100 million. Because I always say that you can really tell a person who came from nothing, gained it all,
get distracted so easily,
and got it back again.
Baby girl, keep on pleasing me.
A person that did everything right to me, that's, you know, it's just not really, you know, it's not fun to watch.
No, listen, that's an awesome game to play. That's to live the game. You say the game where I've never been arrested, I never got in trouble.
Right
I'm the
on.
person I am. That would have been a great game that I played.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have been sophisticated enough. Let me say that I would love to have been sophisticated enough to play that game.
Right.
I wasn't.
Right.
I wasn't born with the sophistication. I wasn't born with the know-how. I was born with my rawness.
Right.
My rawness expressed who I was.
I think you was, man. I think it was the elements. You know what I mean?
No, I had to go through what I went through to be who I am.
That's real.
You know?
That's real.
I had to find out who I was to find out who I was not.
And that's a lot of things that I think that, like, being honest with oneself and realizing, having a sense of self early on.
That's a tough project, you know. That we want to do everything else, but what we do avoid more than anything, are human beings. We avoid knowing who we are.
Yeah.
We invest so much in somebody else to help somebody else, but we don't want to invest in to find out who we are. We may not like ourselves, then we don't know how to fix ourselves.
Yeah.
You know.
That's real shit. That's real shit. So to evolve from that lifestyle, how does it feel to lose 250 million, to a couple $100 million, Mike?
Around 4.
How the fuck does that feel, Mike?
Liberating.
Like the Joker setting a pile of money on fire.
Yeah, real liberating.
And what were some of the greatest lessons that you learned from that process?
I don't know. That money's meant to share with your friends.
Okay.
That's less fortunate than you.
Okay.
How do I feel? Look, really, tell them, listen, all right. Me and you talking, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's me and you, two niggas, right?
That's right.
In the gutter, right?
That's right.
All right, I got $400 million, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, how do I feel that I have it and you don't?
That's some real nigga shit, Mike.
No, how do I feel? Do I feel I'm flyer than you? How do I feel?
I mean, if you
I should be fucking flogged. I should be living in pictures and I should be flogged every fucking day.
Right.
That's just what it is. So if I have that money, I can't give it away fast enough. I can't buy enough cars for pretty girls. That's just who I am.
Right. I mean, shit, bro. I think if you are a man of integrity, you want the same for your brother as you do for yourself.
100%.
You dig what I'm saying?
100%. You have to.
But you got to get, it got to come with the knowledge, the same knowledge that you have and the same effort that you put in to have the same that you have.
I don't know. Everyone gets knowledge at different times.
Okay.
People grasp knowledge at different times. We won't all grasp it at the same moment.
That's real.
And it's just meant. God didn't make no mistakes.
Right.
Everybody endured what they endured for some reason. We're born for a reason. We're born to enrich the earth.
That's right.
That's what we're here for. You think there's any other purpose we're here for? Why would God even make it? You really think you just come from your mother and father? You don't think it's bigger than that?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a purpose. That's a bigger picture.
You know, God's watching us, or the universe is watching us.
Yeah.
And we got to conduct ourselves like we know that.
He loves flying, and he loves helping others soar to new heights too. So he built a course on Kajabi that turned his passion into a business. That took off into a community where aspiring pilots share their progress, gain confidence, and navigate their journeys together. That's the perfect blend that transformed him from a pilot into an entrepreneur.
Damn.
You need to know assets.
Yeah. Assets, liabilities, you need to know.
Even like intellectual property.
Man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Stop learning AI. This is the truth. Big bang, we out in LA. He saw music marketing. Net. Let's see what the Hornets talking about.
Today, I want to talk about a team that holds a special place in the hearts of many Carolinians, such as myself, but also breaks their hearts over and over and over again. Have you guessed it yet? The team is the Charlotte Hornets. Now, if you're from North Carolina, or even just a casual NBA fan, you've probably asked the same question I have over the years. What happened to the Hornets? How did a team with such a strong fan base, a unique brand, and one of the most iconic players as an owner become one of the most disappointing franchises and hilarious franchises in the league? From ownership fumbles to identity crisis, let's get into it. I want to talk about the George Shinn era. In 1988, y'all know we got our first team, my first NBA team, the original Hornets. And man, when I tell you, they were loved. The city was on fire, man. They brought a certain type of energy, style, and the purple color scheme, and it had the whole NBA paying attention. Like, the drip was so hard, folk who didn't even stay in Charlotte was getting their merch because it was just that drippy, man. They loved the colors, like the Hornets. It was just unique, you know what I'm saying? The Charlotte Coliseum where they played was so lit. It stayed sold out, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't just a basketball, it was a cultural moment. And I'm not sure if y'all saw
the movie Joanna Man, but it was filmed at the Charlotte Coliseum. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know if y'all know about that type of history, man, but it was just lit like that. Like they had the city on fire. They had something when they got Muggsy Bogues, Larry Johnson, and Alonzo Mourning, right? The Hornets weren't just entertaining, man. They were trying to build something real. But business got in the way of that. So the original owner, like I said, George Shinn, went from a local hero to one of the most liked figures in Charlotte sports history. I mean, like, on the surface, like, he had some questionable front office decisions, but like he really pushed fans away with like his, you know, off the court scandals and how he just handled the community. Like, people just stopped really trusting him because it's just like, bro, you're supposed to be doing right by the team and building a contender, but he was doing everything but that. It was all types of allegations and lawsuits and all types of stuff that he had going on. And then when it came to as dope as the city was and riding with him, this man would not build a new arena unless he had public money. Ain't that crazy? Just because the fans wouldn't chip in, which Charlotte wasn't like the mecca for like money like that, it was still a growing city. He was like, you know what? Cool. All these allegations, man, lawsuits, and y'all don't want to build no new arena with y'all money. Not his money, y'all money, I'm out. In 2002, man, he decided to just move the New Orleans, you know, to move the team to New Orleans. And the thing was, bro, those players that I named, Muggsy was one who stayed, but Larry Johnson, Alonzo Mourning, just off of some BS, he didn't even re-sign them. He let them walk. And y'all know how cold Larry Johnson and Alonzo Mourning was. They was like staples with the Hornets. Because fans stopped trusting, they stopped showing up to the arena. So there was just nothing but like poor market support, you know what I mean? And because of his ego and scandal, he just lost all respect and said, all right, let me go ahead and move the team to New Orleans, man. And that was literally the first fracture that just tore the Hornets up, and the city was never really the same. The second chapter is what I like to call the Bobcats era that I want to talk about. So let's fast forward to about 2004. Right around 2004, I'm like in elementary, okay? So the NBA decided they wanted to bring the team back to Charlotte. But it wasn't the Hornets. Nope. We got the Charlotte Bobcats. Now look, I get it. It was a fresh start, but from the jump, the Bobcats felt like some type of weird science experiment. You know what I mean? Like, the name didn't resonate, the branding felt forced, and worst of all, the product on the court was so uninspiring. Now, I'm not sure if y'all necessarily know who owned them at that time, but that would be Bob Johnson. Bob Johnson literally was like the owner of BET, so he had like so much motion going on, but he wasn't really involved in sports like that. So anybody that he had in charge, including himself, just didn't know what to do. And so early on, the Bobcats never truly had like a face of the franchise.
We got something to all together.
So now all my life is about Olimpia Milano. I cry every time because it's so emotional for me.
Style and substance. In the GMC Sierra, or current eligible GMC owners get 20% below MSRP on the Sierra 1500 model.
I'm talking about they done sat up here and drafted players who never lived up to the hype, like Adam Morrison. I know y'all remember Adam Morrison, the one who went to Gonzaga. He was picked like 3rd overall in 06, man, ahead of players like Brandon Roy, Rudy Gay. And I ain't trying to knock, you know what I'm saying, Adam Morrison, but it's just like, it just showed how lost the front office was, you know what I'm saying? It was just bad, man. And even like the trades that they made, like it just seemed like desperate move after desperate move after desperate move, just trying to be relevant, man, instead of actually building something that was sustainable, all right? Now, I think they made the playoffs maybe one time in like 2010, and they got swept. I mean, like really, really swept. Like it wasn't close. The patience was just gone, man. There was no spirit like folk had for the Hornets. There was no drip, them orange jerseys. It just was not it. And let's go ahead and take it over to chapter 3, which is what I like to call the Michael Jordan era. You know, the GOAT, but the frog in the front office, as I like to call him. Let's talk about the man who was supposed to change everything. When Bob Johnson, right, decided he was gonna start selling stuff from BET to the Bobcats, he didn't want to be involved no more, he decided to sell them to Michael Jordan. Now, this was around 2010, and it was supposed to be the rebirth. Now, everybody knows how Michael Jordan is the GOAT of the NBA and all of these different things, but he's just different to people in North Carolina because, of course, you know he was a Tar Heel, and grew up and everything in North Carolina. So it's just like, yo, the greatest player of all time is about to be running the Hornets in his home state? Bruh, this finna be a movie. But instead of it being an action-packed movie, it turned into a horror movie real fast, okay? But here's the truth. Michael Jordan, the player, and Michael Jordan, the executive, are two very different people. I'm saying this man made mistake after mistake after mistake, especially in the draft. Bismack Biyombo, bro, you talking about sick? That's who you chose? So 2012, we had these some players. I'm like, all right, bro, this is the one. We missed with Beyond, but we can't miss again. And who does this man draft? Michael Kidd Gilchrist at number 2, bro. Over Damian Lillard. I could not believe it. I'm just like, bro, what are you thinking? 2013, he skipped over Giannis. The only thing that I could think about is Kemba Walker was going just off from MJ's tenure, man. Like, never advanced past the first round, you know what I'm saying? Never really had consistency. But, and then the thing is, when he was due for a contract, Mike ain't give him no supermax. They just let him walk. We ain't get nothing in return. Wasn't no trade, wasn't no nothing. So, MJ's legacy as a player, untouchable. But his ownership of the Hornets, man, is one of the major reasons the team has struggled for decades. And that's why I say he ain't the GOAT. He the frog of the front office, because all he did was hop around, but never did what he was supposed to do. And with that, I'm gonna send it over to my man Rev to take it.
Nothing could prepare Charlotte for what was coming next. A wild card, 6'7" guard, polarized, from Chino Hills, LaMelo Ball, was on the Charlotte Hornets radar in the 2020 draft. No one would have thought just 2 years prior, with a public feud between LeVar Ball and Mike Jordan, this was anything possible. The Big Baller brand burst onto the scene back in 2017. The story of 3 brothers and their father grinding from nothing out of the West Coast and taking over high school AAU circuits all across America. And when they went to Lithuania, the world, was something out of a storybook. It sounded like it was written in the script of a Slam magazine. Now, the youngest of all 3 of the Ball brothers, LaMelo, had an opportunity to be drafted by the Charlotte Hornets. Needless to say, draft night 2020, when the Minnesota Timberwolves took Anthony Davis and the Golden State Warriors took James Wiseman, respectively, it was Charlotte's turn to make a decision. And as critical as I have been of the Charlotte Hornets and some of their decisions, I gotta take my hat off to Michael Jordan and Mitch Kupchak for silencing the noise and taking the best talent available. Although LaMelo was a polarizing figure at the time, what he did in Australia, what he did in his high school career at 6'7" now, bringing a guy like that into the franchise not only could give the city something to look forward to on the court, but it could give them a superstar, the first superstar since Cam Newton, to really change the way the sports is being viewed and played in Charlotte. When LaMelo finally made it into the building, there were many reports that came out that a lot of the media and reality TV show narratives that were behind LaMelo Ball were inaccurate and not correct. Mitch Kupchak and head coach at the time, James Borrego, both went on record saying that they met with LaMelo the night that he got drafted, well, the next night when he came in. And the first thing that LaMelo asked him was, where was the gym?
You wake up in the morning, it's a brand new day. Blue skies above, it's a perfect day. Sunshine is shining just clouds away.
For most people, risk means danger and uncertainty. For me, it means opportunity. Risk is a constant. It's something to embrace and manage. It takes focus, resilience, and discipline. When the pressure is on, I feel right at home. How do you manage risk?
CME Group, where risk meets opportunity.
Even though LaMelo had all the prospect talent that you want from a number one talent or a number two talent, he didn't hit the ground running. During that preseason year, he struggled. And the first game of the year against the Cleveland Cavaliers in Cleveland, his first outing was a donut hole with some of the bad thoughts around the ball family and some of the sour taste that was left in NBA fans' mouth from Lonzo's first go-around in LA. A lot of fans were already chalking it up to LaMelo potentially being a bust. By game 3, that had all changed. From game 3 to game 20, Melo was on a trajectory that led him to the Rookie of the Year, and if he would have stayed healthy in the middle of that rookie season, he would have had a better rookie season than Luka Doncic per statistics. You would think, after this early success in a young career, of a Rookie of the Year, his first year, a play-in, an all-star appearance, his second year, a play-in, you would think that LaMelo's young trajectory would be that of an all-star perennially, an all-NBA career perennially, and a future Hall of Famer. But something happened in the midst of that. Something derailed all of those plans and hopes that the Charlotte Hornets had at the time. Injuries. Not only was it injuries, the front office unwillingness to put the necessary pieces around LaMelo. Ever since LaMelo made it to Charlotte, he was surrounded by the forgottens of the NBA. The biggest free agent acquisition as he came in was a Gordon Hayward, who had not made an All-Star in 7 years. And since a tragic injury in Boston that happened earlier, was never really the same after his leg injury. Because of money being bogged down in bad contracts that no one else was offering in the NBA, it seemed like the Charlotte Hornets were content on a play-in appearance or a rebuild year after year. Year after year, the promise of what LaMelo could be started to sound like what he would never be. It was a sad state of affairs in Charlotte. 2 years ago, Michael Jordan sells the team. When he sells the team, it was the end of an era that was marred in what could have been. But it also showed a glimpse of hope. A 6'9" sniper, shooting guard out of Alabama, by way of Antioch, Tennessee, Brandon Miller, stood to be the best teammate drafted that could help LaMelo carry some of the load and get over the hump. The first move that the new owners that bought the team from Michael Jordan, Gabe Plotkin and Rick Schnell, did when coming into the building was draft Brandon Miller. Brandon Miller showed great promise his rookie year. He showed that he was a lot more athletic that a lot of scouts gave him credit for. He also showed that his three-point shot was translatable on the NBA level. But he too fell marred by the tragedy of Charlotte, which is injury. The once high-flying Miles Bridges, who in LaMelo's second year really came into his own and looked like, at times, the best player on the team and a borderline all-star, also succumbed to things that kept him off of the court. Now, in this new regime, under new leadership at head coach Charles Lee and vice president of operations Jeff Peterson, we're finally starting to see the glimpse of the vision that the Charlotte Hornets say they want to build. This year, after what many consider to be a whiff on last year's lottery pick and Tijan Salon at number 6 overall, the Charlotte Hornets made a conscientious decision not to draft at number 4 in the lottery, the best player available, but to go for something they're describing as culture and character. Con Canipo, a 6'5" shooting guard out of Duke, who was the second man behind number 1 draft Cooper Flagg of Duke, is said to be a guy that's ready to go right now, with a lower ceiling, but what they describe as a high floor. The Charlotte Hornets are hoping that Con Canipo's maturity and, quote, character can be enough to insert one day in between LaMelo and Brandon Miller in the starting lineup as an even keel piece that glues everything together. The Charlotte Hornets weren't done with the character and the player readiness and development when they drafted or traded further into the first round to take Liam McKinley out of UConn, a 6'7" small forward that was once rated the number 1 shooter coming out of high school the year prior. Before Liam McKinley got injured early in the season, he was showing flashes of a top 10 draft pick. He even scored 38 points against Creighton, where he went nuclear in the first and second half. They kept on with this theme of character, as they call it, when they drafted Zion James, Con Canipo's teammate at Duke. Zion James is known as a defensive specialist that makes it hard for any guard bringing the ball up the floor as an unguarded defender, and a three-point marksman that took his percentages from 28% at Tulane to 39% his last year at Duke. Last but not least, the 4-time Big East Player of the Year, Ryan Kalkbrenner.
With the slip no kick. They choose Buffalo ball.
Denny's has 5 slams starting at $5. Full meals, stacked high and under budget. 5 slams starting at $5? It's eating like a genius. Find your booth at Denny's and join the new Denny's Rewards for even more smart savings.
Is a verticality problem on the college level. The Charlotte Hornets are hoping with the departure of Mark Williams that Ryan Kalkbrenner can develop into a similar to what he does in college. If he can do this and muster a strong front line of defense when Melo and Brandon Miller are on the court and they're beat to the rack, they're hoping that their defensive numbers can take a jump when it comes to rim defense. The Charlotte Hornets were not just done in the draft with this change in culture. We saw them make a blockbuster trade by the Charlotte Hornets standards for a player of the likes of Colin Sexton when they sent Yusuf Nurkic to Utah and received back from the Utah Jazz 2 second-round draft picks and Colin Sexton. Finally shoring up the backup point guard position and injecting into the Charlotte Hornets lineup attitude, injury, and a young boy they call Sexton. They weren't done there when they went out and they got Spencer Dinwiddie and Matt Cunningham from the Milwaukee Bucks. The lit out has been calling for the last 5 years for respectable NBA players to put alongside LaMelo Ball. Last year, 5 G League players. Yeah, I stuttered when I said it because it's unbelievable. 5 G League players started for the Charlotte Hornets roster. This is unacceptable. It seems like Jeff Peterson and Charles Lee are focused on building an actual NBA roster. Even though we are excited about all the moves that the Charlotte Hornets have made, and we're cautiously optimistic after hearing about the past that Sean told us about earlier, we understand that the food is not finished. And if Charlotte wants to take control of the East and be a real young contender, it's more food on their plate. There are a lot of tradable pieces, and out of respect for some of these players, I'm not gonna say their names. But even if you're not gonna consider the players that the Charlotte Hornets can actually trade and get some more veteran pieces that can contribute right now to this team, the Charlotte Hornets over the next over the next 6 years, have over 14 second-round draft picks. Will Jeff Peterson and ownership decide to stay pat and play it safe? Or is now the time to finally put a team around LaMelo Ball that can help you properly gauge not what could have been, not what would have been, but what should be?
Your perfect wedding begins at Vistaprint, with gorgeous invites starting at under $1 in designs that match your theme, which we can also print on napkins, signs, and more for your big day. Take 50% off wedding stationery at Vistaprint.com with code WEDDING50.
They are the undisputed laughingstock of the NBA. They haven't made the playoffs in the last 9 seasons. And since their inception in the late 80s and the early 1990s, they are the only team in the history of the NBA to never make a conference finals. We're talking about the Charlotte Hornets. But what happens this year with a reloaded toolkit when it comes to depth off the bench and names like Con Kanipo, Liam McNeely, Colin Sexton, and Spencer Dinwiddie, and budding stars and superstars like LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller? What happens when this team finally gels together under Charles Lee's system in year 2 of his coaching tenure? What will happen if it all actually hits? If everything finally comes together for this laughingstock franchise, the league pass darlings that are the Charlotte Hornets? It ain't no fun when Rabbit got the gun. On this video, we're gonna tell you why the NBA has a Charlotte Hornets problem, and this may be the year that it finally all comes together.
Alright, y'all. Welcome back to another video. And in this video, I want to talk about Charlotte Hornets. The time is now. So, I'm telling you right now, this team is about to shock the entire NBA. For years, the Hornets have been the forgotten team in the East, the squad that people just write off. But this season, this feels different. This roster is deeper, it's tougher, it's loaded with young stars and veterans who know how to win. And I'll say it right here at the start. The Charlotte Hornets are going to compete for the Southeast Division title. And they're going to make the playoffs. Yeah, I said it. And by the end of this video, you'll see why. So, let's start with the franchise cornerstone of this team, LaMelo Ball. He's the engine of this team. When he's healthy, LaMelo is one of the most electric guards in the league. He's flashy, yes, but more importantly, he makes everyone around him better. He's the type of player who can put up a near triple-double on any given night. 23 points, 9 assists, 7 rebounds. Those are realistic numbers this season for him.
In terms of choosing a team, you don't get to choose. It's something that you're born into. It's something that you love.
It's an unbelievable emotion.
I grew up with this team. It's a part of my family.
Now imagine him fully healthy, locked in, leading this squad. With weapons all around him, the floor spacing, the lob threats, the shooters, it sets up LaMelo to have his best season yet. And don't be surprised.
Curtis, K-I-Y.
DIYers, let me test your memory real quick. Remember that throwback episode of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood where Tupac Shakur was a guest? Of course you do. Here's a clip to remind you of how that episode went.
Well, hello, Mr. Rogers.
Oh my goodness gracious, it's you! It's really you, Tupac is here! Oh my God, Tupac is here! Everybody, Tupac is in my house! I can't believe this!
Why Mr. Rogers sounds like a AI voice of Tupac, I don't know, but anybody remember this episode? I don't.
Hi, man.
Welcome, neighbor. I'm so glad you could stop by.
Appreciate you having me, Mr. Rogers.
Please, have a seat. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, and even better with new friends.
Feels real peaceful. It kind of reminds me to slow down a bit.
Well, if that doesn't refresh your memory, how about when Tupac and Biggie sat down on 106 and Park and they finally squashed their long-lived beef? Remember that? Remember that? No, I'll refresh your memory.
I know you got some. You got no Band-Aids.
Band-Aids?
Yeah. I got a cut on my leg.
So y'all really locked in?
What's up, cameras rolling? We got the whole game watching.
And all they want is this crisp refreshment right here.
Ice cold Pepsi.
How you get cuts
I
on your
don't remember
leg?
that commercial. I am a nostalgia holic. I don't remember this commercial at all.
Weird,
Well, if you
bro.
don't know by now, you should know. These are all AI generated.
So
And
you
at this
getting
point,
old.
are you even surprised? Especially when they
Old
launched
ass
this is not
16-year-old.
Biggie at all. Who the hell is this? At this point, you can't even be surprised. They got Tupac here, the AI
What?
company that is,
I get
has
back
Tupac
pain,
here
knee
going
pain,
vintage
shoulder
shopping
pain,
and flipping his
chest
own
pain,
T-shirts
ankle
in memory of
sore.
himself
Talk about
for
that.
eBay.
All
Flipping.
here.
Cold world out here.
Check this out. 90s toys, you gotta know the right ways. Tag say $2.99. I just snapped the pics, dropped it on eBay. 1 million even. Somebody out there gonna pay
How does that sound like a lie?
Let's go collect
I know I
this
do
bag.
need a
Hold up, they
look
got
like a gram of weed
in
though.
here?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me. Man, it's all cracked up. Got that old Taurus in the back. Price say $7. Can't leave my cell phone around. It's coming home.
Got you tomorrow.
Yeah, I may be feeling like a lot of people over
$10
the
tomorrow.
weekend. As this was being released, you know, when I start seeing these videos pop up and I know it's AI, I know that they're using black faces once again to help their cause not only go viral, but to soft launch their AI products. It's getting so blatant how they are
Close it
using
them dope.
certain faces, certain likeness
Yes.
to make sure that the conversation stays relevant. But I want to make sure we stay on top of this because there's a lot of folks out here who, for whatever reason, whether it's maybe an age gap or
every day.
whatever, they're using these
That's too
videos
cold.
to
Every
prove
day
that
I'm in here.
Tupac is still alive. And this
Might as
is
well.
unfortunate. So it says, in addition to the video of Tupac, AI-generated videos of other celebrities have been emerging
I'm making
online
no
as
money.
well.
I'm making no
A
money
video
out of it
created
yet.
with artificial
Just started
intelligence
doing it
showing
this week.
Tupac shopping at Target is going viral on social media, and fans have had enough of the controversial use of technology. The clip shows him interacting with fans while adding various items to his cart. The actual technology, as we're going to see, we're going to go back through here again. is Google Gemini's Nano Banana and OpenAI's Sora 2. I give props where props is due when it comes to the actual technology of it all, because it does look sometimes really unbelievably close. But it's done once again without permission. And it's almost like they know they can go through this song and dance. And even though you see right here, Michael Jackson's estate is sending a copyright complaint to OpenAI as deepfake videos flood social media, the damage is already done. The videos are already going viral. The subscriptions have already increased. The discussion is already happening. These are already been spread over TikTok. I mean, what loss could they really take except for, okay, we'll remove him from the database, even though they had the power to do that before they allowed the public to have access to it. It's not just Tupac. They got Michael Jackson, of course, rest in peace to the King of Pop, and the Black Mamba promoting a product on TikTok, which seems to be flavored tobacco.
Yeah, they doing AI coping. Michael Jackson and shit, having them motherfuckers be back alive.
What's up, everybody? It's Mike, and tonight we're giving you the smoothest ride in the game. This is our brand new Smooth Berry Thriller Zen.
And I'm bringing the heat with Mamba Mint.
Look, I'm just saying, more people showed up tonight. There were helicopters, the streets were blocked off. It was a whole world event. That's not shade. It's facts.
Sade the singer?
Very Indian, very purple.
How you know who she is? She's old as hell.
Amy Winehouse, Tupac, Michael Jackson.
Yeah. See, I mix the brown with the green. Make macaroni and cheese and green beans.
Noom's going micro. Micro habits, micro wins, microdosed GLP-1s. Help! Oh, hi. What's happening? I've been here for months and my weight won't budge. I'm stuck. Been there. But Noom's microdoses of motivation and microdose GLP-1s can help. Bye, plateau. Hello, micro. Micro changes, big results. Welcome to the micro. I guess that's why they call him the GOAT.
You know, I'm not new. I'm not new to the internet. I'm not new to you know, some of these flips. Like, even, you know, some of this stuff has, I guess, some comedic value. Here's Michael Jackson with a bear.
This is the most beautiful.
But once again, it's unfortunate to see that this type of technology is in the hands of individuals who don't respect the legacy of these artists, who spent their entire lifetimes protecting their brand and doing everything they can to make sure that their legacy was represented the proper way. There are states that do this just to have the rest of the internet tell whatever stories they want to tell. It's humanly possible or digitally possible using AI and Sora and all these different. This is outrageous. You got Michael Jackson here, who was not alive for self-driving cars, enjoying the benefits of being in a Tesla. And you notice how all these brands are mysteriously a part of the conversation of these videos?
Responsibility right chair.
Somebody driving?
Continuing on route. Destination in 12 minutes.
That's it? No steering wheel?
The vehicle is in autonomous mode at 32 miles per hour.
Feels like a ride at the park.
Saying way too much on the damn microphone.
Michael Jackson deepfake videos flooding social media. The deepfakes were created using Google Gemini's Nano Banana and OpenAI's Sora 2. Over the weekend, Twitter users uploaded videos of Michael interacting with Prince, Tupac Shakur, Kobe Bryant, Martin Luther King Jr. Yes, Martin Luther King Jr. There's a video of Martin Luther King Jr. and JFK playing Ding Dong Ditch. Why? I don't know. Notorious B.I.G., Fidel Castro, and they forgot. There's a video of Hitler and Michael Jackson arguing about who came up with the moonwalk. Yeah, okay. OpenAI Sora 2 has banned creating deepfake videos of living celebrities. Well, that's good. But dead celebrities and public figures are fair game. Okay. In AI video shared on X, Mike poses with Prince for a selfie. Makes the argument that his funeral was larger than Prince's. Fans expressed their concern on X. One person saying, something about this feels strange to me. I'd feel weird about random people making AI videos of me after my death, portraying me a certain way, but maybe that's just me. And we know everybody out here, you know, some of this is for the sake of comedy. And I never want to put restrictions on anybody's comedy or censor any human being's comedy as they're doing their sets. When you start to get into technology that has a goal of looking as realistic as it possibly can, and then using people's likeness to help promote their particular brand, it becomes a weird conflict of interest, because you look at that and you say, you're encouraging misinformation. You're encouraging the spread of misinformation, and you're using the likeness of people, especially Prince, who was, he was notorious for getting on YouTube, but anybody for any streaming platform, anybody who tried to touch his music, you're using these without any kind of permission, and basically just daring the estates will sue us. We'll take it down, but once the damage is done, the damage is done. Incredible to me. But continuing on with the article, it says, Michael's estate reportedly sent a takedown demand on OpenAI for copying Michael's likeness without authorization. Google and OpenAI have taken precautions. Nano Banana images are tagged with synth ID watermarks, which are those Sora. You might see the Sora logo up and down here, while Sora 2 videos feature metadata disclaimers. However, the watermarks and disclaimers are visible in the hundreds of AI videos featuring Michael Jackson circulating on social media. I thought about that the other day. Even that logo that goes from top to bottom that shows Sora, you can literally use other AI video-based programs to get rid of that watermark and replace it with something else. I just think that in an age where there's so much access to good information and misinformation, creating something and allowing it to be in the public's hands and allow for even more misinformation may be a bit problematic, as well as even possibly strategic on some end. However, the watermarks and disclaimers aren't visible in the hundreds of AI videos featuring Michael Jackson circulating on social media. OpenAI goes a step further by banning videos of living celebrities while dead celebrities are allowed. How does that conversation go in the room? Like, yeah, man, like we gotta protect these living celebrities, but Michael, Tupac, Biggie, any of them? Fair game. Most folks know they did. Like, it's okay. What? We don't have a comment to add. This is OpenAI, but we allow the generation of historical figures. OpenAI tells PC Mac, how are they the ones to allow such a thing when it's not their estate to make decisions on, is my question. Boy, oh boy, it is, oh man, I how do y'all feel about this? You know, when I see this, I'm just like, it's pretty damn obvious what's happening here. Why they're using these particular entertainers. Why it seems like they've been hell-bent on using black faces and content creators to kind of push this along.
You just felt like,
I just look at this and I'm like, ain't no way you get any kind of permission from the estate. Okay, here is Tupac, Elvis, and Kobe Bryant in Havana, Cuba. Yep.
In. Say Habana.
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 Boom. Got it.
Man, that's a key right there.
We looking sharp, fellas.
Gotta get a little video too. Say, let go. Ready? Go.
Have a seat, man.
Come on, Pop. Try to keep up.
You ain't leaving me in Havana dust, bro. Yo, what's good? We out here in Havana, man. Streets colorful, sun on us. Got my guy with me.
All I can think about is Kobe's kids, his wife. All I can think about is the family members of a Tupac. You know, in seeing something like this, I'm gonna say it again, it feels like Black Mirror was never supposed to be a fictional show. It seems like it's now become a documentary. I can imagine what that feels like, especially when if you have not fully process the past of these particular figures in your family, your father, your uncle, your cousin. I can't imagine seeing this all play out like this for everybody else's entertainment and for the selfish intent of these companies to just push along the promotion of what they're doing. It's odd to me.
What's up, people? Towering over Pac like always. I think these balconies almost my height, though. He don't fit in none of these cabs, man. We gotta walk it out. All right, look at this.
Fidel Castro, Michael Jackson, and Tupac. Without anybody's permission, just all in the same room because they said it's all right.
Kings on the couch. Y'all believe this?
Hi, everyone. We're just hanging out, keeping it simple. Simple yet historic, my friend. Salute.
Yeah, salute. No politics. Yo, what's good out here in Havana? Sun on my face, and look who I just ran into.
Peace, everyone.
The dragon himself, Bruce Lee. No.
You know, maybe for a quick second, I look at this and I say, imagination probably has taken me here before in conversations with friends. Like, man, what would a conversation between a Tupac and a Bruce Lee look like? What would Michael Jackson and Tupac talk about in the public eye? Like, how would that look like? You know, especially hearing all these stories on podcasts about situation events that went down. Like, how does these conversations go? But you know what? Some things should be left to the imagination. Some of these things are, they're created by narrators who have no business adding their input to it, especially when it's the legacy of folks who are not here to defend themselves, DIYers. Boy, oh boy, hate to bring you the dystopian news on a Monday, but here we are. What are your thoughts on this? You're not bothered by it? Is it not surprising? Is it surprising? Did you even know that this was AI? Let me know your thoughts down below.
Chevy makes America's most dependable trucks. Because in a Chevy truck, dependability comes standard. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
The Brown Boys, the Brown Boys, the Brown Boys, we the Brown Boys, the Brown Boys, we the Brown Boys.
I can really get into the breakdowns for those of you that keep saying that everybody is a hater. I can make a real valid point of why this kid should never be in an NBA jersey. He doesn't know this because he never played this position. Somebody got to tell him, this ain't it. So now Dalton Connect is a seasoned veteran. Well, he's not a seasoned veteran in the NBA, but he's played a lot of college basketball. So he knows to get out of the way because this ain't going to be nothing but a foul on Dalton Connect. So Dalton Connect said, okay, I can't help you. You're hurting the team by doing this because you don't know the small principles of the game. So you're going to hurt the team because you're going to get me a foul call. So Dalton Connect gets out the way. Now, Dalton Connect is a good enough shooter that his time should not be wasted on the floor with Bronny James because you got to be able to help each other. Dalton Connect wants to get a good screen on a body. You know why? The person who set the screen is normally the person who's open. You know why that does not work with Bronny James out on the floor? Because he does not wait for screens. So now Dalton Connect time is being wasted out on the floor with Bronny because he can't hit open shots with Bronny because everybody gets to stay home. By him not waiting on the screen, Dalton Connect man stays with him. Bronny is not past his man. He don't know how to start initiating contact with the guy. So he allows the guy to run right next to him. You tell me a good point guard in the league that will not be initiating contact. You tell me Jalen Brunson wouldn't have this guy on the side of him initiating all kind of contact. You tell me Jalen Brunson, first of all, Jalen Brunson would have been done turned around, would have been backing that thing up on him, Paul. He would have came off this screen, and the moment you got on the side of Jalen Brunson, whether he got a screen on him or not, Jalen Brunson would have been eating up this space. Shy would have been eating up this space with his off arm. Shy, I think, sometimes get away with offensive fouling, but he would have been eating up this space. But nothing about this kid when he's on the floor helps his teammates. It makes it harder on everybody else. Now, he goes in, he starts this 1-2 from way out here. Initiated no contact with the guy yet. This ain't college, Bronny. This is not high school. You can't jump over everybody. We got 7-footers waiting on you. You're not as athletic as you think, because this ain't even that high. And look what happened. This is supposed to be a good shot. A second-round pick hesitated and shot over 2 defenders. This is grounds to get you cut if you was any other second-round pick. This is grounds to get you cut if you're any other second-round pick. Where's Bronny James? Since all of you keep telling me I'm hating, when did you ever hear Stephen A say, Kwame Brown, you got to walk the man in and do an L cut? You got a V cut. You can't just walk straight from the three-point line. Look at Bronny. Bronny never walked into his guy and got him down to the lower box and then came off with some pace. Bronny James is standing at the three-point line playing ready, set, go. And I like when you little crybabies come into my chat because I'm not going to curse. I'm just going to give a better breakdown because maybe you just don't know nothing about basketball. And maybe you need to sit back and be quiet and listen. Bronny James is supposed to walk his guy in and come off after he's gotten some contact. Watch a film on Reggie Miller, Bronny, and Reggie Miller would have been giving this guy all type of elbows to his chest. Reggie Miller would have stuck his leg in between his leg to ram him off of position, to dislodge him off the spot a little bit, just so you can get a running start, so you can have the advantage. Now, they'll say I'm hating, but they won't say I'm wrong about nothing that I'm saying. This kid don't know simple fundamentals of the game, but he's collecting a 4-year check. He comes off hurting his teammates because nobody's going to get open with Bronny on the floor because he don't even know how to set his defender up to put people at odds so that the team can gain an advantage. But it's not about the team gaining an advantage. It's about showing that Bronny James is an NBA player. So when the guys are out there, they got to cater to Bronny James to prove that he's an NBA player, which he's not. He comes off wide as I don't know what. This is not an NBA player. I'm 43 years old and I got a torn meniscus in my knee that I'm about to get fixed, and I can still come off tighter than this. I can still come off and get downhill in this paint tighter than this. Right here. Why is he rounding this out so hard? This guy is 20 years old, 21 years old. He should have the hips and the quick twitch muscles of somebody that can turn downhill and get this big to come stop him. That way Jackson Hayes is open. But what does this turn into? Bronny James round this out and the guard gets right back on him. Look how round this is. This is horrible. This is horrible. The big can guard both right here. And then now he can get help from the nail because he wasn't tight.
Style and substance. In the GMC Sierra, or current eligible GMC owners get 20% below MSRP on this Sierra 1500 model.
What's the secret to peak health? Going micro with Noom. Micro habits, micro wins, even microdose GLP-1s.
Micro? I can do micro.
With Noom, we all can!
I'm doing it. I'm going micro.
I can do micro.
It's micro season, baby! Micro changes, big results. Get started at Noom.com. Do not micro poop on my shoulder.
When this is a starting center, that play is not going to work. That is going to be a turnover. When that is a starting guard on Bronny, that gives them that much space, that is going to be a turnover. He definitely is supposed to set his man up and come off showing his hands ready for the ball. Thank you. I'm just trying to figure out, have we become that much of idol worship that when we speak about the game, the pure form of basketball, when I'm talking about setting your man up and coming off, when I'm talking about coming off a pick and roll and immediately crossing the ball over so you can get the point guard on your back, you're telling me that's hatred? That's hatred now. Yeah, it was a nice one for the preseason because that kid almost got his hand on that ball. You got to remember, this is not a starting center. You cannot make this much mistakes. This is not going to work against the starters. This much space, rounding this off this much, it's not going to work. This is not going to work. And Jackson Hayes is an excellent, excellent lob catcher. Trust me. Swing, swing. What happened to that? Get that ball over to Hachimura. He pump fakes Hachimura. I would have taken his ass out the game so fast, he would have never saw the rest of this game. You went 1 for 12. You
Gainbridge Fieldhouse has got to be the craziest place on the planet, and we're going to need every bit of help that we can get.
Best fans in the world, hear them going crazy in the stands, and just play with their energy.
This story really has more layers than you think. Before we get to the content, make sure you drop, like, subscribe, and turn on our notifications to get the latest NBA news. And now that we get all that out of the way, cue the intro. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? Let's set the stage. Just a few days ago, clips from Ayesha Curry's August 2025 appearance on the Call Her Daddy podcast started going viral on social media. In these clips, Ayesha Curry opened up about her marriage to Steph Curry in a way that left a lot of people scratching their heads. She went viral for admitting that marriage and kids were just never part of her original plan. And this is exactly what she said.
I didn't want kids. I didn't want to get married. I thought I was going to be career girl and that's it.
Now, on the surface, that might not seem like a big deal. As you evolve as a person, plenty of people change their mind about what they truly want in life, especially when life throws many different situations and circumstances in front of you. But here's where it gets interesting.
After we got married, we found out we were pregnant with our daughter so quickly. I didn't even have time to think about what I wanted anymore. It's so interesting. I spent my entire life like trying to work towards something, and then it kind of just disappeared, and I didn't think twice.
Social media immediately exploded. Even I thought that these comments were crazy. Can you imagine what her daughter's gonna think when she grows up and actually sees this podcast? Thousands of comments poured in with people saying that she sounded ungrateful, that she was embarrassing Steph again, and that she should appreciate the incredible life she has. One viral comment read, "She's still married to Steph? It sounds like she's divorced." Even rapper Killer Mike chimed in on Instagram, commenting that Steph doesn't deserve this embarrassment.
Now, Steph Curry himself actually responded to Killer Mike, defending his wife and saying, "You're better than that, stay in your lane, and let God keep blessing me like he is. We're good over here." Killer Mike later apologized, admitting that it wasn't my damn business. But here's the thing, and this is what we really need to talk about. This isn't Ayesha Curry's first rodeo when it comes to controversial public comments. In fact, she's been making headlines for questionable remarks about her marriage and her husband for years. And to really understand why people are so frustrated this time around, we need to go back and look at the full story, because this latest incident is just the most recent chapter in a much longer story. Let's rewind to June of 2023. I think this is the last time I made a video on this topic. Ayesha appeared on the daytime talk show The Real as a guest. During the segment, a shirtless waiter walked onto the set to serve drinks to the hosts. The other hosts started laughing and making a scene, as you'd expect on a daytime talk show. But here's what caught everyone's attention. Ayesha jokingly pretended to take off her wedding ring as the man approached. She covered her eyes, laughed along with the co-host, and the whole thing was clearly meant to be a joke. But the joke didn't land the way she probably hoped it would. The clip instantly went viral, and NBA fans absolutely roasted her for it. Comments flooded in saying things like, "She doesn't respect you," and questioning why she would do that on national television when she's married to one of the biggest stars in basketball. Some people defended it as harmless fun, but many others saw it as disrespectful to Steph, especially given that this wasn't her first time making questionable comments about their relationship in public. Now, again, this isn't the only incident, because if it was, maybe people would have brushed it off, but we need to go back even further to 2019, because that's when things really started to get messy. In May of 2019, Ayesha appeared on Jada Pinkett Smith's Facebook show Red Table Talk. And if you're appearing on this show, man, nothing good can come from it. I mean, this is the show where Jada Pinkett Smith famously said that she had an entanglement with one of her son's friends to her husband, Will Smith.
As far as what?
You and I decided we were going to take our space, and what happened?
Yeah, and then I got into an entanglement with August. That's what I said.
An entanglement?
Yes. Yeah.
We've got something to all together.
So now all my life is about Olympia Milano. I cry every time because it's so emotional for me.
Trust is being able to let go. And every day, millions of businesses come to us and do just that. Into the hands of a team that moves with purpose and precision. Running on a world-class network with technology.
Yes.
A relationship.
Yes, it was a relationship, absolutely. I was in a lot of pain.
Ayesha appears alongside Steph's mom, Sonia Curry, and during this appearance, Ayesha opened up about feeling insecure in her marriage. She talked about how women constantly throw themselves at Steph, which makes sense. He's Steph freaking Curry, one of the biggest names in basketball. But then she said something that made jaws drop across the internet. Ayesha admitted,
Something that really bothers me and like honestly has given me a sense of a little bit of an insecurity is the fact that, yeah, like there are all these women like throwing themselves, but me, like the past 10 years, like I don't have any of that. Like I have zero, this sounds weird, but like male attention. And so then like I begin to internalize it and I'm like, is something wrong with me?
You're not looking.
What,
You're not
like,
looking.
because I don't want it, but it'd be nice to know that like someone's looking.
and the internet went absolutely nuclear. Memes flooded Twitter within hours. People were saying, wait, you're married to Steph Curry. You have a beautiful family. You're successful in your own right, and you're complaining about not getting attention from other men? Memes of this are hilarious. I mean, Ayesha Curry walks past a group of guys on the street. Guys, don't catcall. Ayesha.
What the is wrong with you?
Ayesha Curry walks past. Nobody. Ayesha, I just want to be noticed. Steph.
She is very gorgeous to me.
Even Steph Curry's mom, Sonia, who was sitting right there during the interview, told Ayesha that her way of thinking could get real dangerous. That's your husband's mother essentially warning you on national television that what you're saying could lead down a bad path. Ayesha later defended herself on Instagram, saying she was just being vulnerable and honest, and that if her comments help another woman feel less alone, then the backlash was worth it. Steph also supported her publicly, writing on Instagram, "Proud of you for being authentic and putting yourself out there, not being afraid of the potential and nonsense that could and did come at you. But here's the thing, a lot of people didn't see it as vulnerability. They saw it as someone who had everything most people dream of, a loving, faithful husband who's one of the greatest basketball players ever, financial security, a beautiful family, and she was publicly saying she wished other men would give her attention. That didn't sit right with a lot of folks. The thing that started all of this was a hilarious tweet in 2016. I mean, we're going back to the NBA Finals when the Cleveland Cavaliers were facing off against the Golden State Warriors. If you guys missed our NBA 10 years ago video, I'll leave it in the end screen because it's one of our best videos on this channel that we do each and every year. But during Game 6, the Warriors were up 3-2 in the series. One went away from back-to-back championships, but the game didn't go their way. Steph fouled out in the fourth quarter and was ejected after throwing his mouthpiece into the crowd. The Warriors ended up losing 115-101, forcing a Game 7. Right after the game, while emotions were running high, Ayesha took to Twitter and posted this: "I've lost all respect, sorry. This is absolutely rigged for money or ratings, I'm not sure which. I won't be silent, just saw it live, sorry." Yeah, she essentially accused the entire NBA of rigging the finals on Twitter for everyone to see. The tweet went viral instantly, and it put Steph in an incredibly awkward position during one of the most important legacy-defining moments of his career. Here's his wife publicly claiming that the league he plays for, the league that has made them both incredibly wealthy and famous, is rigged. Sports analysts had a field day. Some, like Brian Windhorst and Stephen A. Smith, suggested that maybe Steph should take away Ayesha's Twitter access. Ayesha later deleted the tweet and apologized, saying she tweeted in the heat of the moment because the call was uncalled for. She later told People magazine that "I was just a fan in that moment, so I didn't think about the ramifications. I regret the way that I voiced how hurt I was." Steph's response? He joked that he might have to cut off the Wi-Fi at home. Now, here's where we need to be completely fair and provide some context. It's easy to take a look at all these moments and paint Ayesha Curry as a villain who's constantly embarrassing her husband. But the reality is more complicated than that. She's a human being who's been living in the spotlight for over a decade, married to one of the most famous athletes on the planet. Every word she says gets analyzed by millions of people, and that's not easy. In her recent Call Her Daddy interview, when you listen to the full context, she wasn't saying she regrets her life or her family. She was talking about how her identity shifted rapidly from being a career-focused young woman to being a wife and mother before she even had time to process what she wanted. She said she loves being a mom, but also loves doing other things, and she's trying to find that balance. That's actually a pretty relatable struggle for women.
Do you still schedule employees like this or like this? Try building the work schedule with When I Work. Get it done in minutes, share it with your team, and make changes instantly. Try it free today.
In a way you've constantly been told what you can't do.
Who will you choose to be when presented with something different? Be inspiring. Paint your own story of what life could be and what you want out of it.
Be authentic. Embrace who you truly are and hope to be, as someone who is unapologetically you.
Be thought-provoking. As someone who's been there, share the importance of being your own advocate.
Because schizophrenia shouldn't change who you want to be.
But here's the disconnect, and this is what frustrates so many people. Ayesha isn't just any woman trying to balance career and family. She's married to a man who's worth an estimated $240 million, has won 4 NBA championships, is a 2-time MVP, and is widely considered the greatest shooter in basketball history. Steph Curry has achieved things that less than 1% of 1% of people will ever achieve. And through that partnership, Ayesha Curry has built an impressive career with an estimated net worth of $50 million. Yeah, that's right. Ayesha Curry isn't necessarily just sitting home waiting for Steph Curry to come come home and playing housewife all day. She's launched multiple restaurants, including International Smoke with chef Michael Mina. She's had her own Food Network shows. She's published multiple best-selling cookbooks. She's launched Sweet July, a lifestyle brand that includes a magazine, cafes, a skincare line, and retail stores. She was named a CoverGirl spokesperson in 2017, becoming the first spokesperson for the brand who wasn't an actress or singer. Together with Steph, she co-founded the Eat, Learn, Play Foundation, which fights childhood hunger and improves education. So when she makes these comments about giving up her career for Steph, a lot of people think, wait a minute, what career did you actually give up? She moved to LA at 18 to pursue acting, landing parts in shows like Hannah Montana and small films. She met Steph when she was 14 and he was 15 at a church youth group in Charlotte. They reconnected years later and got married in 2011 when she was 22. So when you take a look at her major career success, the cooking shows, the restaurants, the books, all of it, it all came after marrying Steph, not before. In fact, it's fair to argue that being Steph Curry's wife significantly amplified her platform and her opportunities. That's not to diminish her accomplishments. She's clearly talented, hardworking, and has built genuine businesses. But the timing matters. Her fame and her opportunities grew alongside Steph's success with the Warriors. They got married in 2011, the same year that Steph was entering his third NBA season. The Warriors won their first championship in 2015. Aisha's first cookbook came out in 2016. Her Food Network show premiered in 2016. Sweet July launched in 2020. Do you see the pattern here? This is why so many people get frustrated when she makes these comments. Millions of women around the world